Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to be making a couple of Father's Day cards. Both of the designs that I've chosen are available on Cricut Access. They are included with the subscription package if you have that. If you don't have a subscription, there will be a small charge for the two designs that I've chosen, but don't worry if you don't want to make the exact ones. This will give you a rough idea of the sort of thing that you'll be able to do. So the first one that I've chosen is this beautiful foiled design. I've used a pre-cut card. I'm a big fan of these. They come pre-scored and it just makes life a little bit easier. It's one less thing to have to cut out. So all I've done is 2 layers of card onto my pre-cut card, and I've used the foil system for that one. And then the other card that I've chosen today is this really funky and fun cut out triple card, and it folds back on itself and it has all the different pappy, daddy, dad, papa, pop, all those different dad names. And inside I've just used the gel pen to write Happy Father's Day, and we got the machine to do that as well. So coming up in the video is going to show you how to do that and how to add your own little aspects into already done designs from Cricut Access. So let's jump straight into making these lovely cards using our Cricut. Okay, so first of all we're just going to jump into Cricut Design Space and we're going to open up a new nice blank canvas. And then what I'm going to do is go to the Projects tab, because this card is one that is in Cricut Access. So I'm going to just go up to the top and I'm going to search projects for Father's Day. And let's see what comes up. So I'm going to make this foiled one, and I'm going to make this cut out Papa card, which I really like. So let's go down to customize. So that will put this design onto our mat. Okay, so now it's on our mat, and what I'm going to do is put some text inside this part, as this bit will fold and so will this. This is the front. This will be the middle bit, and then this will be the bit that you normally would write on. So I'm going to add a little message. So I'm going to click on text and I'm just going to type in Happy Father's Day. And then I'm going to change the font to a writing font. I'm just going to go up to the top here, click on that, and then I'm going to go to the filter on the right hand side. And then here it gives you lots of different options. So I want writing fonts, so I'm going to click on that one. Not all of these are included in your Cricut Access subscription, and you can tell whether they are or not because there's a price attached to the ones that aren't, but there's plenty that are. And my favourite one in here is actually Storyteller, so I'm going to click on Storyteller and I'm going to make it centered. So let's do that, and then I'm going to shrink that down. Doesn't need to be massive, and I'm going to just pop it in there. Let's make it a little bit smaller. I've actually got my canvas set up in inches today, just for a bit of a change, just to see if it makes any difference to the way I work. I normally use centimetres, but this is nice to try for a change. Right, so now what we need to do is attach this piece of text to our card. So what we're going to do is go up to the top and select all, and then we want to click on detach first of all, because there are other items that Cricut have already attached, so we can't attach twice, so we need to detach everything before we can attach the things that we've added. So go back up to select all again, and I'll click on the attach, and now that has attached that onto there. I just want to check the size of this, so I'm just gonna, because Cricut doesn't have a ruler, so it makes it difficult to check the size of something. So this is actually pretty small. It's only a very, very small card, so I think I'm going to have to make it bigger. Because obviously the mat constraints are like the sort of 11.5 inches, this card's only going to be 3.5 inches which is pretty small, but it's the best we're going to do on a small mat. So let's just get rid of that. Okay, so now we can see everything's there, it's all attached. So now we can make it on the machine. So let's just click on make it and see how that comes out. I'm going to use an A4 sheet today. So what I'm going to do is go over to the material size and I'm going to change that to A4 and it will flip it round. There you go, so it's flipped it round. So now we're just going to prep the mat and get that ready for cutting. So the cardstock that I'm using today is from my local wholesaler. It is by Perfect Stationery. It's 160 GSM. It's fluorescent blue and it is double-sided coloured. And the reason that I chose this card is because a lot of my other thicker cards are actually either single-sided or they're white core. This is slightly white, but I don't think you're going to see it when it's cut out. So I've got this light grip mat here today. I don't know whether it's going to be sticky enough. So I'm going to stick this down. And then I'm going to use a little bit of masking tape just around the edges just to give it a little extra bit of stick to the mat. So let's just pop this down. I'm going to use my roller again just to give it a good breakdown. Just going to grab my masking tape and I'm just going to pop couple of bits on. I'm going to actually, this is a wider tape, so I'm just going to cut it in half with my scissors and then I'm going to stick that on the top. I'm not going to put it very far onto the cardstock, I just want to put it on the very edge and I'm going to put it on the bottom as well, the same on the sides. There's nothing worse than starting your cut and then seeing your cardstock is floating around in midair because your mat wasn't very sticky. And this mat's quite old, even though it looks quite clean. I've cleaned it a few times, so it's still a bit sticky, but it's lost quite a lot of its stick. So, okay, actually let's put that way around so that it's nice and straight. Okay. I just want to make sure there's nothing hanging off the edge, so I'm just going to turn my mat over and then I'm just going to cut off that little bit of extra that is there. So we've got no bits hanging over the edge of our mat. So we're going to just go over to our Cricut Maker and insert our mat. We're going to click on continue and now we're just searching for our machine. Let's find the machine. We're using a Maker today. This is 160 GSM cardstock as I previously said. So let's go to browse all materials on this one and see what comes up. I'm just going to search for 160 GSM and there isn't a setting for that. So ordinarily, if I was cutting something using this weight of cardstock, I would use cardstock for intricate cuts as my setting. I'm going to leave my pressure as a default as well. And it's telling me now that I'm going to need the black 0.4mm pen. I'm going to need a single scoring wheel and my fine point blade. So it's telling me now that it wants me to load those things. So I need to put in my scoring wheel and my pen first of all. So this is the double scoring wheel that is currently on my housing. So what I need to do is remove this tip and put on the single scoring wheel. You can see the difference in the two tips. If we can focus, there we go. So you can see the difference. This one has two and this one has one. So the double scoring wheel is normally used for heavier weight cardstock and it has a number 202 on the housing there on the tip. So let's just press down the end of the housing and remove that. And then we've got our single one to put back on. So just pop it on the end and let go and it's attached. So to put this into the machine, we're just going to take out our fine point blade there. I'm just going to pop that in the top because we're going to use that in a second. And just pop in the scoring wheel There we go. And then it also wants us to put in our pen. Today I'm using the Cricut Glitter Black pen, and I'm just going to pop that into clamp A. There we go. There we go. Okay, so that's in clamp A. Alright, so now we're ready to hit the flashing C button and the machine will start the cut. So that's a pretty quick process. So what we need to do now is make sure that we don't eject the mat, because if we eject the mat we won't be able to get it back into the position that we need. On the computer screen it is now showing us that we need to load the Fine Point Blade into clamp B and then just hit the go button again. So what I'm going to do is just take out the scoring wheel. I'm just going to check my Fine Point Blade doesn't have any debris left on it from another project. It looks okay. Let's just pop that into there. You can leave your pen in as well. Just hit the go button. Now it's ready to start cutting out our design. So far it's looking pretty good. It's not lifted anything up. There's no tearing at the moment, which is good as well. So we're 83% into the cut now. And it's looking quite good. I'm hoping that it's cut all the way through. I will check that before I eject the mat, that's quite important. So I'm just going to leave the mat in the machine at the moment while I just check that it's cut, and it's cut all the way through. It's really lovely. Yeah, that's a really lovely cut actually, so I'm quite pleased with that. Apologies if you can hear the dogs. They are under my desk and they're snoring, so let's just take off our masking tape. I'm going to stick that to the edge of my desk because I may use that again. Like with all of our projects, just flip your mat over, bend your mat back, and you can see we're not going to have very much weeding to do because the majority of it has stuck to the mat when I've took it off. So just put the mat to one side for a moment, and then we can just very carefully take this off. So that's our void piece of card, which we can probably use again for something else. There are a couple of bits on here that haven't weeded themselves. We don't need any tools to do that with. We can just carefully pull them out. We've got our scoring lines on here now, so we can fold that over. And what I like to do when I'm scoring is just get my scraper and just gently use that as a guide. And then I'll fold that over, and then this one again, I'll just put my scraper there to use it as a guide, and very gently fold it back because there isn't a lot to grab hold of on this card to fold, so that's fine. Give it a nice fold back gently, and what I'm going to do is get my roller and just give that crease an extra bit of help to stay down, and the same over this side. This is white cord, but it's because it's 160 GSM, it's not too bad. You don't really notice it too much. If you could be bothered, you could colour in the bits where you can really see it if you wanted to, but I'm quite happy with the way it looks at the moment. So there's no envelope with this card, so what we need to do is make an envelope next. Alright, so we're back into Design Space. I'm going to just hide the card, and then I'm going to go back over to Images and see if there are any envelopes in here. Might have to go into Projects though, so... Oh no, there's some envelopes in here, okay. We only want something pretty basic. So let's just go for this one. It's a pretty basic envelope. So the size I'm going to need for this card is going to be, actually I'm going to switch my canvas back to centimetres because I can't cope with it in inches at all. Right, so the centimetres measurement of this card is 9 by 13. So what I'm going to do is get a square. I'm going to pop that on there and I'm going to unlock that, and I'm going to do my size of my card. So that is 9 by 13. So let's make it 0.5 for the extra wiggle room with an envelope. And then what I'm going to do is stretch my envelope, and I'm going to put that card, and then I'm going to put my rectangle in there, and I'm going to just make that smaller, and then I know that my card is going to fit in that. So that's fine. So that's basically my card in there, and that's going to fit on there. Okay, so what I'm going to need now is a big piece of paper. So I'm just going to click on Make It. So I'm going to need a 30 centimetre sheet of paper. So just going to bring back my mat that I cut my card on, and I'm going to just scrape away all of the bits from the card. And then I've got this A3 sheet of blue, which is virtually the same colour as my mat actually. So let's pop that onto there. It is longer than the mat, but I'm not going to worry about cutting it off because it won't make a difference to the cut. So let's just pop that on there, and I'm just going to grab my bits of masking tape again, and I'm going to pop them on the edges just for a little bit of extra hold on the mat there, and a little bit on the top. As I said, I'm leaving the extra length on the mat, so I'm not going to worry about putting it on there. And this again is a basic cut and a score, so I'm going to need my scoring wheel back in. So this is 160 GSM. Apparently it's the same as the other one. I don't think it is, but nevertheless. Right, so I'm going to use cardstock for intricate cuts again. This is going to be a pretty simple quick cut, so it's just a score first of all, which it's going to do with the single scoring wheel in there. Because it's an envelope, it's got quite a lot of lines to score. Alright, that's done. So now we can switch over to our fine point blade. So let's just get this out of here. Okay, so let's peel back this masking tape again. Okay, just give it a flip over. There we go, there is our envelope. And because this is just an envelope, I'm going to just fold this with my hands. There we go. Which way around? That way, I think. Okay, and then that's the top of it. Then we've got our card, which fits perfectly inside there. And we could, if we wanted to, write on the envelope to Dad, which is quite a nice idea, so I might do that. So just to finish off the envelope, I'm going to just use a little bit of PVA glue. just on here. Just want a little blob of PVA up here. Oops. Could probably use some double-sided tape. There you go, so that's our envelope. Just leave that to dry. And that's done nicely, and there's our first Father's Day card. Guys, future gem here. So I'm just editing this video and I've decided I'm going to split it down into two separate ones, purely because this video is going to be like over an hour long with the two cards being made in the same video. So I think if I split it into two, then it's something to look forward to. So the first one is going to be the one you've just seen, and then the next video is going to include the foiled Father's Day card. I hope you're not too disappointed. I just think that over an hour is too long for a video. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video, and if you have, please give me a thumbs up, drop me some comments down below. Everything that I've used will be listed in the description box down below, with links where I can. Some things I won't be able to link to, like the blue cardstock for instance, because that's from my local wholesaler. But if you need any more information, please don't hesitate, drop me a comment and I will do my best to answer you. So thanks for watching, have a wonderful week, enjoy yourself and stay safe. Take care, bye.